Hmm. Oh, welcome. You're my first one. Just doing a little maintenance on some hammers. Getting ready. Gonna be forging some knives today. Spreaders in. That looks good. All right. Yeah, welcome. I don't know if there's a way to see the names of people when you guys come in. Huh. I'll figure it out one day. All right. Might as well get to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and light my forge. What I do for that is I just usually light a piece of paper on fire, put it in there, turn the gas on, and my paper went out. That's cool. Huh. Okay, so I'm gonna light a leaf on fire instead. I think my forge is off screen. Huh. Alright, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm just gonna toss a lighter or a match in there. 12 people. Wow, welcome everybody. Gonna be forging some knives. Just gotta get this forge going. Well, if I can. All right, we're gonna cheat a little bit. Hopefully don't blow my eyebrows off. Huh. Got to adjust the oxygen intake, I think. Bear with me. Sorry, everyone. Welcome everyone. Okay, so hey everyone. Hey, will you let me know in the chat if this forge is really loud right now? Because I'm trying out a mic, but I'm not sure it's coming through. Can you guys hear me okay? Not as loud as the first one. Okay, cool. So you can hear me okay? Cool. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. We're going to get to it. So I'm going to be forging, hold on. The forge is not burning very well. I got to adjust the gas real quick. Okay, cool. Well, that's warming up. I'm gonna be doing some just a little basic forging. I'm gonna forge a couple knives. I've just got some like junk steel, just old springs that I'm gonna be working with. I think this is, yeah, it's a piece of a spring. A lot of spring steel, a couple bearings. Just gonna knock out some knives, maybe like a couple other little tools. Something really easy, something fun. But I think I'm gonna start with this. This is just a piece of a suspension that I found on the side of the road one day. So now it's going to be a knife. It's got to burn the paint off, get it up to temperature, let it do its thing. I hope I don't run out of propane. I'm going to probably head out here in a minute if I do, or it might be like a brief intermission if that does happen. So yeah, let's see. Wow, lots of people. Holy crap. 37 people. Wow. Welcome, everyone. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys can hear me. All right, does anyone have any questions or any special requests? Anyone want any kind of special knife? I've kind of planned on making a Puukko style knife. A couple small ones of these. This is another one I made. It's got like a through tang all the way. It's like kind of a Viking style knife. I really like making these because they're fun, they're easy, they don't use a whole lot of material, and they look really nice. Welcome, everyone. Hell yeah. All right. I know anything about my anvil? Yeah, this is I think it's a Peterson Wright from 1899. Wrought iron base, carbon steel on the top there. I happened to get it for a really good price back when I first started forging. It was kind of the first thing I got. I kind of got it before I got most of the other things I needed. All I had at the time was like a crappy belt sander from Harbor Freight and a couple hammers. Actually, this hammer, little 3-pound Harbor Freight special, cheapy cheap little guy, and I had a charcoal forge that ended up disappearing a couple of years back. Someone stole. Take a look at this real quick. Chainsaw burned off. That was good. Right in there. But yeah, it's a Peterson Wright. Really nice anvil. I mean, I love this thing. Yeah, she is a beauty. Absolutely. I love it. It's kind of a special moment when I bought it because back when you would like apprentice blacksmith back in the day, like medieval times and stuff, like it would take most of your life to build up the skills, and you wanted to be able to buy an anvil. So an anvil was kind of seen as like a rite of passage, kind of like a sign that you're actually good enough to start working instead of just sweeping up scale and bringing water around. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. Kind of jabber. We're gonna try to straighten this out. There's a couple ways you can do this. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it pulled apart enough where I can stick it in this hole in the anvil, be able to get a little better purchase on it. It's like the steel is softened, but ooh, it's tough to move that way. I already lost a lot of my heat. I'm going to go ahead and stick her back in. Got her moved a little bit. Sometimes it's just like that. Just little by little, you do what you can. It is heavy. Yeah, it's I believe it's either 150 or 200 pound anvil. I believe. I need to weigh it. I wish I could like show you a little bit more and like show you the anvil a little better, but I mean it's just about, it's wider than my fist, and I've got 2X hands. I don't have a banana for scale. Let's see. Name my anvil. Oh, I like that. Ooh. I'm gonna have to think about that. I love that. I like naming things. Scale around a little bit. What do you think? You guys got any names? Today I'm making some knives. I think I'm gonna make some Puukko style knives. maybe like a broken back Viking sax style knife. I really like Viking knives. But yeah. Alright. Let's see about getting this open a little bit more. Ooh. Perfect. Now we'll be able to hammer that out, get that straightened out, get it down to the exact size that I want it for this knife. Ooh, that's hot. There goes all my knuckle hair again. That's funny, yeah. To see out here, the colors of the steel. I'm not used to forging outside. I'm used to forging inside. That's what most people do, but I don't really have the real estate in my house to be doing that right now. In my garage. To do that and film. Plus, using a gas forge, you worry about carbon monoxide, I guess, with the coal forge as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch to this side. Yep, that's how easy it is. Just a second close to that forge. Now all my arm hair is gone. That's just the way it goes. There was a short period of time where I didn't trim my beard at all. But starting fires and blowing tinder into flame, I would just burn little parts of it off, and that's how it would get trimmed up. Heck no. Ooh. I dig that. Got it pretty straightened out. I think I'm going to cut it right about here so I can get two little knives out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and get it a good heat. Agnar. Agnar is a strong contender right now. Oh, yeah, duplicate. Yeah. Yeah. I like Agnar. That's cool. That might be it. Alright. So we're going to go ahead. Got my little cutting axe. I need to get a little hardy tool. We're going to get rid of the tongs. Ooh, please don't roll off. Okay. Cut it right about in half, set that on top. Center that a little bit more. Yeah. Now I don't want to cut through it all the way. I just want to cut through it most of the way, because what you usually do, you'll cut through it 90% of the way. I don't know if you can see that very well in this light. Light backdrop my face. You cut it through most of the way, and you just use another pair of tongs, and you just snap it off. Then I'm going to set this aside to cool off while I work on other stuff. Set that there, let that cool off. Then I'm just going to work with this piece. Draw that out, and I almost put my hand on that piece. I'm actually going to move that. Yeah, let's see. Handles remind me of Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, I feel that. That was I think that was a lot of people's first exposure to anvils as a kid, or the concept of them. It was just that weird heavy thing that would get dropped on Wile E. Coyote all the time. Hey, welcome. Doing a little forging a couple little Puukko style knives, which Puukko style knife is this. I think the main thing that makes it a Puukko is the straight back and the hidden tang. Start moving some steel. That's pretty loud, I bet. Might be able to get that ammo a little bit quieter. How loud is that, guys? Is that like too much with the mic right next to it? Sweet. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start widening my blade a bit. We've already started getting it flattened out. It's crazy how fast you can flatten it. I think I'm going to flip it around and start working on the other side. Do not like these tongs very much. I need to just make my own pair. Specifically for like knife making stuff. Yeah, not bad. Awesome. That's good to hear. Stay hydrated. I made the very wise decision on this pretty hot day to stand directly in the sun right next to a really, really hot forge. Very wise indeed. That's very hot. Whew. I don't know if you guys heard that, but when I dunked that in some water, it hit. All this out. I'm just right now, all I'm really trying to do is get it to be mostly flat. And also I like to do this, I like to work the whole piece when I start working with recycled old steel like this. Just trying to get that flat. This has got to be a little knife, I think. But when you're working with recycled steel, I like to work with the whole piece, because if there's any micro cracks, working with it will really show the it'll like split apart and break. I had one knife I was working on made out of, I think it was a lawnmower blade, which is not really great steel to begin with, but it was just kind of practice. But I got most of the way done with the blade and everything, forged shape, and started working on the handle, and as soon as I started working on the handle, it just cracked in half and I couldn't use it at all, and it was a real bummer. So now I always just try to work the full piece. Welcome, Daniel. Yeah, now I try to work the whole piece just to get that out of the way if that is going to happen. I'd rather it fail early in the project. Yeah, it's really weird working out in the light like this because I cannot at all see what color steel this is. You want to work it at the, depending on the steel, I guess it's just a spring steel, obviously, but you want to work it while it's red. You don't want to work it while it's dull and gray because you can end up cracking the steel that way. All right, 25 people, hell yeah. Welcome, I very much appreciate you guys watching. I might start working on a little second project. So while that piece is heating up, it's kind of a typical thing when you get like better at blacksmithing. You'll kind of like work on one, pull out the other. You know, you'll just kind of switch back and forth, so you're always working on something, so you're not just wasting fuel. Flatten this out just a little bit more. We'll call it a blade blank. Go ahead and flip her around. Get that other side, flatten out some more, and then I'll show you guys probably the most important thing for forging a knife like this is cutting the tip. And it's like the reason you do that is when steel is made, it has a crystalline structure that's almost like a wood grain. It's called I think it's dendritic crystalline structure. So when you make a knife, like say this was just a flat piece of steel, right? So you would cut the back end like this at an angle. Actually, I have a flat piece of steel I can just show you on. So if I was going to be making a knife out of this, I would cut this at an angle like right here, and then pull this tip up, because that grain structure that runs through the whole piece of steel will continue there, and you get a really, it keeps your steel nicer. It makes the tip stronger. It's just better altogether. You can kind of tell, once you do this for a while, you can kind of tell by the sound. You can kind of tell by the sound how cold your steel is, because it'll be much quieter. When it's softer, it absorbs most of the noise, and it absorbs most of your blows. The energy just goes into the blade. I might be able to make even like 2 little mini knives out of this. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna grab another piece of steel now, I think, because I want to make live stream. I made an awl, which is like a little leather working punch thing to punch through leather. I want to make a smaller one for like walking around and like making stuff in the woods. All right, I've decided I want this to be the tip, so I'm going to go ahead and come in. I'm going to go ahead and cut this top little corner off, and hopefully not start my grass on fire. This tip, just to keep that grain structure throughout. I might make this one a little full tang knife. I kind of like the way it's shaping out. Make like a little pocket knife type thing. I think I'll let this get a little too cold, but we're going to cut it some more anyway. Check where whenever you hit it, you always want to check to make sure you didn't bounce out. Because a lot of times it will bounce out. Yeah, it's way too cold. I'm gonna go ahead and throw her back in. I need to set up like a tool stand out here. working on this piece. This is a smaller piece, so I'm just going to go ahead and tap her out. Straighten her out on the side. Pull her over the top. And straighten it out completely. Throw her back in. Switch her back out. That's definitely where I want the temperature. Just got to move a little quicker instead of jibber jabbering. Gonna give it some good strikes. And like before, you don't want to cut it all the way, because you want to be able to control where it goes, especially out here in the grass. I don't want this little piece flying off and catching on fire, so I'm going to go ahead and snap that off. Pop that back in. Set this piece up here so I don't hit that with a lawnmower later. Just going to go ahead and use this big boy. Start tapering it out. Because I want this to be a pretty small awl. Just a little like pocket sized one. Push her out. And now we got that tip cut in it. Now we're going to go ahead and try to shift that up. Change the way I'm holding these tongs. I don't know if it's going to be wide enough, but we'll go ahead. You just want to kind of guide it. Start working that tip up. Every couple of strikes, you want to kind of tap it back. It's a slow process, but you want to take your time on it. I actually kind of like the way that curve is coming in on it. Well, that piece still got a little too hot. Turning it up a bit. Yep. That was a big misstrike. Might mess this whole piece up. Nope, that's good. I'm going to put this one off to the side because I don't want to have to work on it. I would like to be able to talk to you guys. Welcome, everyone. Big oof. Rolled that tip right over. Yep. That's what I get for just hitting the tip. So, looks okay from that side. When you look over there. Yep. I can work that out. I'm just going to use a smaller hammer. But something you got to be conscientious of. That happened because I'm using way too heavy of a hammer for such a piece of small piece of steel. Way too big of strikes. We're going to salvage that. questions about like forging, or you know, anything, any questions about me or anything you want to know? I think I'm going to set this piece aside for a second because this piece is heating up a lot faster now. Switch to smaller piece of steel, or a smaller hammer rather. There we go, that's much better. Just about got that tip where I want it. Just about. I'll give it one more heat and I'm going to show you what I kind of mean. Oh, I got a big message. Let's see what's... When rolls like that will affect the integrity of the location of the product. The heat will, I mean, realign the quality of it. Yeah, yes and no. It won't really affect it unless you're forging it too cold. So when you heat a knife over and over and over again, the crystalline structure loosens up, and then it puts a lot of stress on the blade, and it like moves the crystals around a bunch, especially when you work with really hot, or when you work in colder rather. But what'll happen, what you need to do to fix that is something called thermocycling. So what I'll do later on, right at the end of like when I'm happy with the shape, what I'll do is I'll get it to a critical temperature, which is non-magnetic, which is a certain level of it's a certain level of heat. It's a really bright color, but we'll get it to that point, and you let it cool down by itself. I'll just set it on my anvil. The anvil in the air will let it cool down, and basically it relaxes the molecular structure of the steel. I don't want to sit on that. It'll relax the molecular structure of the steel and get out any stress that's been built up from the forging process. It's kind of the opposite of when you quench it, like you see in like movies and like on like Forged in Fire and all that. People take their hot blade and they'll dunk it in water or oil. What that does is it locks in that crystalline structure and it hardens the steel. Sounds like I might be almost out of propane. But yeah, I just want to show you this stylus tip now that I've got it moved to where I want it. Man, that's hot. But yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to thin this handle part out because this is going to be a small carver. I may or may not sell this one. There was a guy I was talking to online, and he was trying to find a knife this size, just like a really small, fine Puko style carver. And I said, well, I've made a bunch like that. I've made some that I like immediately sold, so I don't even have pictures of them or anything. I'm really bad about them. I'm hoping the channel kind of helps with that. Yeah, no problem. Cool. Yeah, I'm hoping the channel kind of helps me document stuff because I'm really bad about like making knives for people and then selling them and then being like, oh, I never took a picture of that. And it's like, I'm not like trying to become a professional knife maker or anything. I pretty much just do this as a hobby. If it brings me money on the side, I'll take it. But you know, if I just forge it, hey, that's fine. So now we're really going to start thinning this out. I'm going to decide where I want the blade to start. And I think right about there. I'm going to take it to the corner of my anvil, kind of make a mark so I know. Man, I kind of like the shape of this though. I kind of want to just slap handle scales on it, leave it full tang, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But now that I know that where that mark's at, I'm actually going to straighten this out a little bit. and I think it's too cold to straighten out that way. But yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. Some of the work swords, yeah, absolutely. I love that like rough forged look. It sounds great with the new mic. Awesome. That's really cool. Awesome. That I'm hoping this like little fluffy thing helps like cancel out a lot of noise. Plus, I think these mics just naturally have like noise canceling. I don't really know how to set that up. I haven't seen anything like in the manual, which was like plug this dongle into your phone and then record through your phone. And it's like there's buttons on here that doesn't tell you what to do with all that. I mean, this is just a cheap little mic from Amazon from China, so you know, I don't have a lot of money to invest in like some really good stuff. Woo-hoo-hoo! That landed right on my shoe, boy. That's what I get for being distracted. I might switch. I have another pair of tongs that may work better for this. Nah, that's a good grip. I like that. You see how the sound sounds a little bit sharper than it did right before I dropped it? It's because the steel is already cooling off. Which sucks. It's like what sucks about using a little small piece of metal is like it'll heat up really quick, but it cools down really quick because this anvil is just a huge heat sink and it just sucks all the life out of it. Oh yeah, well sure will. I do keep a lot of my own knives and mostly make knives for myself. That's kind of why I got into it. It's because I was like, man, I can't drop $300 on a custom knife. I was like, it'd be cheaper probably to buy all my own stuff, which like this anvil is more expensive than that, but I mean, I've been using it for years. I've gotten my money's worth out of it. When I bought it, I was working at McDonald's and I was dirt poor. I mean, I was beyond paycheck to paycheck. It'd be most of the time like I'd have to decide whether I was going to pay my phone bill or like eat a lot of checks. Oh, some shade. Oh. But yeah, but I found this at an antique shop and the price was really fair on it. Because these anvils, usually they're like, I'm definitely running out of propane. Ooh. But these anvils are expensive. They're well sought after, and it's like part of the reason that happened is because Forged in Fire. Forged in Fire made like bladesmithing so popular, people had these old anvils that their grandpas had used just sitting in barns. I'm definitely gonna run out of propane. Maybe here in a second even. So I might have to cut this short for a minute, go grab another tank. I should have just picked up another tank. But yeah, suddenly all, you know, these anvils that went from like, you could pick them up on Facebook Marketplace for like $200, went to like $1,200 just because they were so popular and so well sought after. Yeah. It kind of sucks. It's cool because like my whole thing is like keeping ancestral skills and like old skills alive. That's something I firmly believe in. It's part of the reason I do this, and like part of the reason I wanted to start a channel was to spread knowledge. And you know, so many people these days don't have hobbies, they don't do things, they just play on their phone. And not, I mean, no shade at you guys, you know, watching YouTube. I sure watch a lot of YouTube. I learned most of my blacksmith skills from YouTube, actually. Like, no judgment there, but like, it just seems like these days our phones just suck up all of our time. But yeah. So it's like if I can inspire some people to get out in the woods or, you know, get a forge or, you know, start experimenting with crafting stuff. I've got some leather working I'm going to be doing here in a little bit. I'm kind of overdue to finish that knife sheath, but my whole thing is I just want people to learn, and it's like there's no guarantee my kids will be interested in this. So it's like I would like to pass it on to somebody. I've had a couple people, like coworkers, ex-coworkers, that were like, "Ooh, please teach me," but it's like trying to get them to come out sometimes is like pulling teeth. Oh yeah, you can hear that forge dying down. But yeah, I've just about got the shape where I want it. I like to leave, whenever I make these like hidden tang knives or rat tail tang knives, what that means is, like, for a knife, usually the tang, the piece of steel that is the blade, would just continue all the way through, and you can see it from the outside. That's a full tang. And a rat tail tang or a partial tang, it just kind of thins out and goes all the way to the end. You can see the end there, but I like to leave them really thick because it makes for a stronger blade. And it's like, you know, I kind of bought into the whole, like, if it's not full tang, it's not good kind of mentality that, like, knife YouTube and, like, survival YouTube kind of shoves down your throat. Until I started making knives, because, like, I think the one I'm carrying on me right now was one of my first hidden tangs like that, pure tangs like that. And when I was forging it, I was trying to fit the piece of brass that goes in the front, and I used this 2-pound sledge and a piece of pipe to hammer it on. And yeah, see how hot that gets? Hammered on, and I drove it into my stump that I was working with, like more than half the length of the blade. And I mean, I was hammering on that as hard as I could. What it really comes down to is, like, just know what your blade is capable of and know what your tools are capable of. You don't want to force a knife to do something you shouldn't do with it. With that being said, you know, I was really curious about how sturdy this kind of knife would be. So this one in particular, I beat up pretty well. I mean, I was batoning with it. I've cut wood, all different kinds of sizes. I think I'm going to go ahead and define that end a little bit more. Straighten her out now. But yeah, it's like, with these, I like to leave it at like about 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go get propane. Hope that doesn't throw off the flow too much of the stream. It shouldn't take me but 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and straighten her out this way. And I don't have to worry about breaking the blade at this point because it's soft. I'll show you where we're at with the tang. Got it thinned out, but you can see it's like 1/4 of an inch thick. And it's like, people are like, oh, you can break that really easy. But it's like, when was the last time you just snapped a piece of steel that wasn't like really brittle or already broken or cracked or cut or something in your real life, like everyday life? Welcome. Can't read the names from that far. Welcome, Saeed Mahdi. Getting a bit of a cold, I think. It really sucks. Either that or I hope it's allergies. Or I was around a bunch of dust yesterday from combines. Hoping that's the reason I got a sore throat. I think this tang's just about where I want it. Just gonna kind of shake it out a little bit more. And the cool thing is, you can always thin this out. I'm probably going to shorten this quite a bit because this is going to be about a 3-finger knife. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and turn that around now. Got to work on the blade some more. Got some rough spots, but I'll show you the blade. Just a little mini version of that knife I'm carrying. I mean, it's no more than, I'd say like 2.5 inches, something like that. It'll be a good little carver, that's for sure. What we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna work out some of the hammer marks I put in it so it's a little bit prettier. And then I'm going to go ahead and forge the bevel in, which the bevel, luckily I have a knife this time. It's hard to tell on this one, but the bevel, it starts like here. It's where your edge starts. This one starts all the way back here and it goes to the end. It's that shinier bit. But I'm gonna forge that in most of the way. A lot of people just grind theirs in, but I like to forge it in because it wastes less steel. It's cheaper because you're not using as much like sandpaper on your belt sander. And then I think once I get it to a shape I think we're gonna pause the stream. Pause the stream and I'm gonna go pick up some propane accessories. Oh! Widen that blade out a little bit there. Kind of curved in where it had that transition. It's looking good though. Definitely looking good. I keep setting my hammer down. I need a different hammer actually. Go ahead and figure out. Use this boy. Hopefully the handle doesn't fall off this time. Oh yeah, I am almost at 500. Yeah, I think I'm at like 436. I appreciate you giving me that shout out. I didn't even think about that. I'm really bad at like hit like and subscribe, comment below stuff. It's really hard for me to do that, but yeah, I'm pretty close to 500. I've been sitting there for a little bit, but it seems like whenever I stop making videos for a little bit, like all my views dropped off. Try to tap that out, straighten that out just a little bit. Get that angled a little bit nicer. I think I like the shape of that. I'm gonna have to work on the ricasso a little bit, or the transition area. Widen that out just a little. Back a little bit more so I can get to where I want to get. But yeah, it's like I don't really, so I'm on TikTok as well. I just post all my shorts that I post on YouTube there just to kind of get my name out there a little bit more. And like 2 days ago I posted a video about like fire starting with a Visby or Gotland sphere. Visby Lens Gotland sphere. It's a Viking like piece of jewelry made of crystal and silver, and I used it to start a fire. And on TikTok, it's got like, I think 13,000 views, which is like better than all my top videos on here, like all put together. Yeah, but I'd say it's probably got more than my top 5 videos on YouTube, just on that one video. It's like a 30 seconds, not even a good video. I rushed it, but it's like it's got all those views, and that's like my best performing thing on any of my channels. TikTok, but let's straighten that out a bit. There we go. Start forging those bevels in. I'm gonna come inside. I'm gonna kind of tilt the knife, and I'm gonna tilt my hammer. And that'll start beating in that shape of that bevel. I'm using a rounded hammer, I should be. Oh, shade, hello. But yeah, it's really frustrating because then it's like I posted a better version of that same video, and I went from like 13,000 views on one video to the very next video of the same thing, only getting like not 13,000, 13, like the number before 14, and it's like I don't understand how the algorithm works on TikTok. I kind of do on YouTube, maybe. I don't think anyone really knows, not even YouTube. But, I don't know, it's kind of frustrating. It's like I would love to monetize on that. I would love to, like, be able to get, like, I want the YouTube channel. I don't particularly care that much about TikTok. So whenever you're forging your bevels in, you'll notice it'll start to take on that banana shape. And there's a way to fix that, but I did not bring the tool to do that. So I'm going to improvise one. That's just this. Because I've thinned this edge out now with the bevel, I don't want to deform the blade, the edge of the knife. So I'm just going to use a piece of wood. Because the wood's soft, it'll move the steel slowly, but it won't, I've thinned that tip out way too much. But it won't deform the edge of the knife. It's like, it's a very gentle way to do that. 32 people, welcome everyone. Yeah, I don't care for TikTok at all. Sorry, I saw the Hank Hill comment. But yeah, it's like, I don't care for TikTok at all. It's like, I don't like the concept of TikTok. Like the whole, I don't like short form videos in general. Like mine are okay, you know. I mean, not saying like mine are better than anyone else's or anything. But like, I hate the whole concept. It's just literally designed to harvest your attention, because as soon as you're done watching one, another one pops in. And then it's like, I mean, I'm sure we've all done it. I'm sure you've just gotten on YouTube to do something. Like there's been times I've come to check on my channel. Like, okay, how many views does this video have? All right, okay. And I get on there, and then it's like, I see a video that's interesting, because that's how the algorithm works. It's supposed to feed you stuff that you're interested in to make you watch, so YouTube can make money. But it's getting way too hot. I need to push that a little bit further in. But like, it's made to, you know, make YouTube money. They want your channel to succeed, unless you disagree with their beliefs on something. I won't get into the politics of YouTube, but I'm actually going to give this just a little bit of a very light tap to try to get this to move a little faster, because I'm almost out of propane. I think it's just about where I want it. I think I'm going to, because I thin this out pretty much where I want it, because it's going to be a pretty thin blade, and you want that for a carver. I'm going to straighten it out. I'm going to thermocycle. I'm going to go get some propane. You know what, actually, I'm just going to forge another knife. I'm going to work on something else. Show you guys how to thermocycle it. Just keep it going. Might as well. Oh, wait, no, that's because I need a propane. Never mind, I'm an idiot. Ignore me. Jesus. So, thermocycle. I'll bring... I have this really strong magnet I like to test with. Just gonna stick that to the anvil. It'll also quiet down my anvil a bit. I'll pull it out, the steel out while it's hot, see if it sticks to the magnet. And if it doesn't, that means it's up to critical temperature. You just kind of know by looking. Like when you get to that bright orange, I don't think it's showing up like that, but not sticking to the magnet. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out, let it cool down for a minute. I'm gonna start working on something. I'm gonna, the end is magnetic, but I didn't heat that part that much, so I'm gonna set her there. And spoiler alert, I'm gonna hopefully not set my hand directly on that, because I'm gonna be like, oh, blah blah blah, and stick my hand right on it. Actually, I'm gonna move it. I'm just gonna get ahead of it. It'd make for good YouTube, but I don't want to burn a finger off. So we'll go ahead and get started on something else. What do you think? Should I forge like finish forging that little awl? Why not just 3D print knives? Well, I don't think we're at the point. You know, it's actually interesting, because I could get see, I put my hand there. I didn't even think about it. You could probably, in theory, 3D print a knife with powdered metal, one of the powdered metal 3D prints. But the problem with that is it wouldn't have enough carbon probably, because it'd probably get burned out during the process, but you could add carbon back. So, and also you're going to have layers that aren't like welded together very well. I'm just letting this run in. Hold on. Yeah, of course, another knife. So, you could, But I feel like you could probably do it if you use a certain kind of steel, maybe like a high carbon steel, because it's really forgiving. You get it printed and everything. You have your finished blade for the most part, and then you could put some flux on it, which flux keeps corrosion from building in between. Usually it's just borax powder, which is soap. Just keeps a layer to keep the oxygen away so it doesn't rust, and keep the steel from bonding to itself. Put that on, beat it together. It's called forge welding. Beat it together, and you could do that. You consolidate it that way, and then carburize it, which is where you put it with some sort of high carbon content stuff. Some people use charcoal. What is it? It's chalk, basically. Sodium bicarbonate, which I think is actually baking powder, but it's different. I believe you can put that in a canister with it, seal it away from oxygen, and put it at a very specific temperature for a while, depending on the steel. But yeah, I still wouldn't trust that knife, even if I went through all that. You know, carburized it, made it tougher, and heat treated it correctly. This was a plain 3D printed knife. I mean, you could do plastic ones, but those aren't going to do anything. Those are more for show, which one of my things is like a lot of the crap, like gas station knives and stuff. It's like, yeah, sure, they're good for opening packages. It's good for cutting like paper and cardboard and stuff, a little bit. But I don't know, they're just junk. I'm kind of a steel snob. So, let's see. Spot Kershaw League. Ooh, wow, that's awesome. I love Kershaw. They do some really nice finishes on their blades. Stone finish, like black wash stone finish look. Awesome, beautiful. I usually leave my, I like to do like a high polish on my knives and then darken it back with like gun bluing. But I like to leave hammer marks in because it's like you could have a perfect knife and everything and all that, but that's just kind of boring. You know, everyone can pick that up at Walmart. But it's like, I don't know, having these like low spots on here and like hammer marks and stuff. I don't know if you guys can really even see that. But the hammer marks, it just gives it character. It makes it look imperfect. It's handmade, and it shows you that. But yeah, I really love the stone block that Kershaw does. I've got a couple little Kershaws, just the cheap ones, but getting a little dehydrated, having trouble holding on. Stuff. I'm gonna have to drink some water here in a minute. One misconception about blacksmithing is like when I pick up the hammer, I'm not like forcing it down. I'm picking it up and letting gravity do most of the work. Yeah, it's starting to sputter. We only got like maybe 10 minutes left, if that, before I have to take a break. I'll rehydrate a little bit, get some more propane. Whew. Sorry about the sweat. Gotten some comments on that in real life. They'd be like, oh, you're gross and sweaty. Well, it's like, yeah, I'm in 90 to 100 degree heat in most of my videos. Yeah, I think this one I'm going to leave full tang, show you guys the difference of like how the processes work. Because it is a little bit different. I think it's a little bit easier to do full tang knives. Oh, I'm getting a call. I don't think I can answer that while I'm doing a live stream. Joey, if you're watching, sorry I can't answer your call. But, oh yeah, she's sputtering. I'm gonna check on that first blade real quick. But I can show you the difference because the processes are a little different. You never want to, when you're checking the temperature of a knife, I can't really show you on camera, but you can kind of hold it up and see the heat waves coming off of it, the heat lines. Man, this is a rough blade. So you can kind of see the heat lines. So that's definitely still hot. You never want to touch it with your hands. I don't like to put water on it either, especially when I'm heat treating, because or thermocycling, because it kind of defeats the purpose, because it re-hardens the steel, even if it's like only 100 or 200 degrees. Because this forge will get the steel up to 1200 degrees. So what does that say? What am I doing? I am forging some knives. Which substance are you making a knife by doing? It's out of steel. Forging out of old spring steel. But I'm going to be making a couple little knives. This is basically what I'm using. The first piece I used was a piece of spring steel from a suspension from a car that I found on the side of the road. Chat down there, so I'm a little far away from the phone. I'm doing this all on my phone. I need to like set up like a little screen so I can read what people are saying without having to squint and go all the way over there. I'm gonna choke up on my hammer because that lets me get softer but more controlled blows. Yeah. But yeah. Softer, more controlled blows, which is better. I mean, right now I'm just trying to move steel. I'm definitely getting a little dehydrated. It's no bueno. Drink some more water here in a second so I don't drink too much at once. I think it's like, see what the temperature is, if I can do that. It is 93, I think. And then being in the sun, and then next to this really hot forge, you definitely have to be careful. I had to heat stroke once, so I gotta really be careful, especially being a bigger dude. Yeah, they say once you get heat stroke, it's really easy to get it again. I'm gonna start hitting it a little harder just to move the steel a little faster. About, I hear it's I know I've been saying my forge is almost out of gas for a minute, but Benchmade Flyaway. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to look that one up. Is it a fixed blade or is it a folder? So I'm not super into folders. Too many moving parts for my taste. I am a simple man with simple tastes. Too many parts moving around confuses me a little too much. Whoa. The blade was in the handle the whole time? I'm just kidding, guys. I don't like holders that much, but I do like them for certain things. But I'm in a pretty rural area. I would say semi-rural, not really even. I live in a small town, and no one really cares too much if you're carrying a knife, especially a fixed blade. A lot of people, I like to carry my knives because people are like, whoa, that's a cool knife. And I'm like, whoa, I made it. Buy some. I'm just kidding. Benchmade Flyaway. Small fixed blade meant for, like a bird and trout knife style knife. Yeah, it's absolutely about the same size. Some people call them patch knives too. Actually, patch knives were for like in the 18th century when muskets were a thing. it was for cutting little patches, and I mean, it would be a tiny little knife. But yeah, bird and trout knife. Look up that and see if that's like the same thing, same style of blade. I'd be willing to bet that it is. I think. I'm gonna widen this out a bit. You'll see that whenever I want to widen the steel out, I'll switch sides to the wedge side. Oh, that was a miss strike. Okay, good. It was half on, half off of the workpiece. And I hit my anvil. I'm glad I damaged my anvil. I thought I damaged this, but it's not. Yeah, I'm gonna make this into a little guy. Maybe like a little neck knife. I'll probably throw this one on Etsy. I'll probably have that Etsy shop up by tonight. I kind of want to like build up stock. Maybe I'll do live streams for like a month, build up stock of like a couple knives, and I'll throw it on there. Maybe I'll throw 1 or 2 pieces up tonight or something. It'll probably be the same name as my YouTube channel, just so it's easy to find. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this. I don't know, because I'm not. As a YouTube creator, I think you have to have certain criteria to plug your own business, so it's all in Minecraft. My Etsy shop in Minecraft. I've heard of people getting their channels banned. But I think that was like they were just plugging their business on YouTube and not making really videos. They were just like, come buy my stuff, and that was it. But I'm actually putting out some content, hopefully that somebody likes. I mean, I guess you guys wouldn't be watching if you didn't like it, but that's another thing with my YouTube channel. I just don't want to feel like I'm like being kind of a sellout, you know? Yeah, definitely need to drink more water. I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to leave this back end. I'm going to leave that back end like nice and thick like that, like a butter knife handle, because I think I'm going to flatten it out whenever I go to do finish work. But I'm going to make this like a little miniature Viking sax knife, which saxes are like, broken back Viking. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm definitely dehydrated. Broken back Viking saxes were really simple knives because they were straight. So there'd be a handle here, and then you would just clip the tip off so it comes to a clip point like that. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but you'd remove that and it would just be straight back, straight bottom, clip at the end. Super simple knives. A lot of people theorize that they were made out of broken swords. Yeah, bird trout knife, yeah. Heck yeah. I love them. They're really handy. That's what I carried for a while. I made a little one for myself and just carried that because it's like, especially like work and stuff, most places you're not allowed to carry them at work. Sorry if you can hear me drinking, guys. I gotta stay hydrated. I'm almost out of water actually. So I may have to pause the stream for a bit. Hopefully you guys come back. I think we're gonna cut this now. Where's my get that distinctive, which I'm oh yeah, sorry. Some people theorize that the broken back saxes were made from like broken swords, which makes sense because it's like during the Viking Age, steel was really hard to make. You know, they didn't have a whole lot of it, so that's gonna catch on fire. But really expensive to make the steel. So it's like if you broke something big like a sword, I just realized I started cutting that blade the wrong direction. So I think it's just gonna be a normal blade now. That sucks. Well, no, yep, already cut way too much through it. I could always flip the handle around. Yep. That's why you don't forge impaired, either by dehydration or tiredness. Like I always say, within every failure lives a lesson. The lesson will be to pay more attention. Like my dad always says, haste makes waste. Truly wise words. Makes waste, slow and steady wins the race. Alright. Yep, definitely gonna have to cool off for a minute. Definitely gonna have to get some more water in me, maybe some electrolytes. Get some Gatorade, it's got electrolytes, it's got what plants crave. Definitely plug yourself. It's a lot of work making, it is a lot of work making videos. I did not understand how much, like, edit, I mean, I don't edit much, but like, it's a whole day ordeal. Like even setting up for this, like I had to drag all this stuff out my forge, my anvil, all my tools, everything. I had to drag it all out. I mean, this anvil, like I said, is like 150, 200 pounds. And I'm probably a good 30 feet from where it sits. Yeah. That kind of looks like it'd be comfortable to use that. Well, I'm not going to do that. That's just lazy thinking, I think. Oh, man. Yeah, sorry about the train. They don't come as much as they used to, but... yeah. But yeah, that's like another thing with the shop, though, is like... pricing myself out's hard. I don't really know what I want to charge for stuff. Usually a lot of the time I've made knives. It's for like friends and coworkers and cool people. And I know I'm using the wrong side of that hammer. So it's like I always give them friend prices, and that's mostly what I've done. So it's hard because I don't have like a whole history of like doing that. And it's like the prices I do see people selling for, oh my gosh, Shade. The prices I do see people selling knives for, it's like, I'm poor. Like, I couldn't do that. Like, I was at the Renaissance Fair, and I saw a knife. I mean, it was really beautiful Damascus, and it had a really beautiful, like, file work on the handle and stuff. Gorgeous knife. But he wanted, I think, $1,450 for it, which, like, considering the time, he told me he spent a week just on the filing. So, like, yeah, I mean, if you're going to even buy, like, $20 an hour, you know, plus, just on that one part, I mean, that took a work week, you know, so it's like, it makes sense, but it's like, I don't know, these little knives, I could probably sell them for like, I know Etsy takes like 20% or something of your sales. So, it's like to cover for that, and then shipping, I think I'd have to, even a small knife like this, I'd have to sell for like 50, 60 bucks, which I don't know if it's worth that. I don't know, it might be worth that to someone, but maybe I'm just selling myself short. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yep, definitely get dehydrated. I'm losing that muscle control. I'm gonna have to turn the forge off for a minute. I think I'm gonna sit and chit chat with you guys. I'm getting a little, feeling not so good. Oh yeah, I'm basically out of propane. I know I've been saying that like this whole entire stream, but whew. Just gonna hang out with you guys. Let this do its thing. Cool off in the forge. Do a little bit of Q&A. I'm gonna go grab some water real quick. Get my little Boy Scout chair out here. I will be right back. Gotta get something to cool me off. Pause on it. Oh. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, I'll be right back. Oh, I guess you guys are still gonna be able to hear me. Oh well, I'm just getting water. Hear the sounds of me walking into my house. If I don't lose connection. No, I'm just getting some water. They can probably hear you too because I'm wearing a mic. They can probably hear you on the stream because I'm wearing a mic. Yeah. No. Oh. Yep. All right, guys. I'm gonna cut the stream short a little bit here. Show y'all what I got so far, and then I definitely need to sit down. Whew. Sit down for a second, rehydrate. Sorry about that pause. I'm getting a little dizzy. Definitely got too hot. This sitting in front of this forge takes like a 93-degree day. It makes it like I don't know, like 120 degrees where I'm sitting. I probably should sit closer to the camera, but whew. I'm gonna sit a little closer that way I can read your guys' chat stuff. Yeah, I'm sweating a lot, dang. Yeah, a little bit cool right here. Don't sell anything too cheap. If it seems too good to be true, it looks. That is correct. That is true. I don't buy stuff, especially on Etsy, that's too cheap because it's like this feels like a scam. Make some money to get more fun stuff to make. Yeah, that's true. Let's see what I missed. Some comments. Benchmade, tagged out carbon fiber. That's very cool. Yeah, meant for fish and bird. There's an app out now where you can auction your items on live. Oh, that's cool. Definitely plug yourself. It's a lot of work making videos, yes. Let's see. So the show my wife is at this week, it would be a good idea to maybe try one time. Load up some stock, do some live foraging for people to watch. People would love it. Yeah, no, for sure. That would be very cool to do. And I could sell all kinds of stuff. Like I do all kinds of outdoor things. Like I make belt pouches, wooden frame backpacks for like the really old fashioned stuff. Yeah, I'm really red. Wow. I'm surprised I didn't feel. Got my high-tech fan device here. I'm gonna go ahead and activate. It's a wool hat. But yeah, I'd love to do that. Like sell all my cool handmade stuff because it's like I also do wood carving. I'm just starting to do some coal rosing, which is like a traditional like engraving for wood. You basically like make shallow cuts with the tip of your knife, and then put like a dark colored powder in there and oil, and then you burnish it, rub it with something smooth so it locks the fibers in. I made a little short video about that, but it's fun. It's cool. I think that would take like my hand carved spoons and all that. I think that would elevate those a little bit more. Yeah, stay hydrated. I'm gonna definitely try. Now that these clouds are here, definitely cooling off a lot, but yeah. Thanks for the reminder, I'm drinking some more cool water. Yep. I have a bad habit of doing that where I'll feel myself getting too hot and just push through it, and it's like I used to be able to do that when I was a younger man. I'm only like 33. But yeah, I mean back in my 20s I would just tank the heat just fine, and then I had that heat stroke It's like I was fine until I wasn't, and then now it's like, man, I just overheat so easy. I'm also wearing a hoodie, which is stupid. And this leather apron, but it's like, if I don't wear this leather apron, I'm gonna get little burns all over in my clothes. And you can see, here, I'll show you my arms. When you forge, all these little black spots that you can kind of see, all that is forge scale. That's hot little pieces of basically rust. It's just like a layer of oxidized metal that pops off the piece when you're working on it. Usually I brush it off, but I like to leave it on because it kind of leaves a crunchy finish for my knives. Yeah, the cinnamon. Cinnamon is what I use for my coal roasting. You can use powdered coffee too. That's another good one. Traditionally, you do like crush up charcoal for it. But like, I don't know why people don't do that more, but I'm sure there's some reason. But I mean, the cinnamon powder is just so easy to just, I use cinnamon and olive oil and just threw it on there. But yeah, I'd love to go out to one of those some weekend. Yeah, your wife does really cool work. If she has a website, you should, if you're comfortable with that, maybe put that in the chat so other people can check that out. Really cool stuff that I've seen, at least. I don't really know. Last thing I saw was the one of the cow skulls. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about forging process stuff, or trying to think of stuff to talk about while I'm hydrating up? Oh, that sun's coming back out. Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to do something like that. I really want, like, my perfect like dream job, my like dream goal for like all of this stuff, like YouTube and my skill set and everything, is I really want to be self-employed. I really hate working, because it's like I work at a place, I work at a factory, so I work at a factory, I work 12 hours a day, and I get, X amount of money. I mean, it's decent pay for the area and everything, but, I think about this all the time. It's like my CEO of my company makes like, I don't know, like $2.5 million a year. And it's like, the company is like one day of my work for what I do. I mean, I'm not on a production line, I drive a forklift, but one day of my work and everything, it's like I load like 2 trucks a day of material. Heck yeah, no, we'll have to definitely, hello, Farash? Yes. But yeah, we'll have to talk about that and see if maybe I'll go out there. I think you said it's next weekend. I think I work next weekend, but have you tried finding a suitcase full of money? That could be your, then you could be your own boss for a while. I would love that. Yeah. Welcome to the live stream. We're just doing some chit chat while I cool off, and of course the sun's back now. But yeah, but it's like, I think about that, it's like I worked at a company that made axles for semi trucks, and I think each axle was worth like $20,000, and we would push through in my area, we would push through like sometimes up to 300 of those, and it's like I was making like $20 an hour. So it's like, you think about that, it's like the amount of product that you move through is definitely not proportional really in any way to the amount of money you earn. So it's like, I'd really love, even though it's a lot more work, being self-employed would be really fantastic. Man, I'm getting red. Make sure you do it without any employees. I had 30 employees in my own business for 10 years. Almost killed me. Yeah, I bet. That was stressful, especially when other people are involved. Gosh, and I can't even imagine like doing the paperwork for everyone's pay and all that, and then all the tax stuff, insurance stuff. If you were that big to have it, give insurance and benefits, yeah, no, that doesn't. It would pretty much just be me. But my end goal is I'd really love to have like and I drew up a business plan for it. I just never had the money for it. But really would love to get a couple acres, have a survival school on it, do YouTube, put some of the lessons on YouTube, not all of them because you don't want to give away all your stuff for free. But yeah, and have like a shop where I make, stuff. And I'd love to do like classes of like how to forge a knife, bring people out and make like survival knives, or, have like a Viking weekend where I show like Viking gear and reenactment stuff, and show you how to like have everyone forge like a fire steel or a Viking age knife or something. Sorry, it sounds like someone's in my yard. Oh, it's my forge cooling down. Never mind. I would love to have that, and then like rent out, some of my handmade knives for the weekend, see if people like them, or, give the option to buy at the end of the class, other stuff like that. Because it's just, I would really love to turn my passions into a business. The only thing I worry about is like the burnout. Hello, Timothy O'Keefe. Is this big Timothy O'Keefe or little Timothy O'Keefe? But yeah, it'd be really cool, because then it's like, I'm like, I don't dislike my job. Little Joe. Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry I missed your call earlier, bud. But yeah, I would really love to be able to do that. I just need a couple acres of land, a little building. What state do you live in? I live in Missouri. I'm like a little reluctant to say that, but like, I'm sure you could, if someone really wanted to find me, it'd be pretty easy. But yeah, I live in Missouri. Yeah, not too far from St. Louis. But yeah, a couple acres of land, teach lessons, have like pond out there, have like a small building for like lessons, have like a small medical building, maybe like a little cabin that I could also just use for me to go out and have fun in the woods with, and a property where I can like really do all the cool bushcraft stuff. I'd really love to like build like structures and stuff, but none of the parks in my state let me do that. Yeah. Sorry, there's a snake creeping across my yard. It's a little garter snake. Yeah. Yeah, it's that'd be the goal. Like if this got big enough to where I could finance that, like this channel, like YouTube's kind of in a weird state right now. Like my channel, when I first started, my channel, like my first month, I had almost 80,000 views. And then like it was that way for the most of the beginning of this month, or last month, beginning of September. And then something in the algorithm changed. I went from getting like 5,000 views a day to like, I got, I think, like 6 views on my entire channel, and that's including the videos that were like doing really well, which really sucked. And it's like, it kind of happened like right about the time that I was on my little like half hiatus, which I'm still kind of on. I can't really get out in the woods because I don't want to leave my wife high and dry with both the kids, newborn and a toddler is a handful. Have I read Tom Brown Jr.? He's written a few survival books about his time in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. Fun reads. I'll have to look into that. I'm always looking for new books. Whew. Yeah, it definitely got too hot. Very red. Very sweaty. But yeah. I don't remember what I was talking about. It's definitely too small. Yeah. Oh, now I feel like Odin. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I definitely got too hot. I'm gonna go run. I'm gonna go grab like something with electrolytes. I'm gonna get some propane. I'm gonna cool off. Unless anyone's got any other questions or anything. I know we've dropped down. I'm not forging anymore. So I think a lot of the people left. But yeah, I'm going to check in with the wife, get something to drink, cool off, get some propane accessories. I've been fishing the Pine Barrens. I live 2 hours away in New Jersey. Oh. I always wanted to see the Pine Barrens. I always loved, I mean, I hear that place has just got such a unique feeling to it, like a unique vibe. It's like, I've been to the forest in North Carolina, Missouri, Kansas, Florida, and it's like every single area has its own kind of vibe, but like I hear specifically the Pine Barrens or something else. I hear they're built different. Oh, my phone is also overheating. Will I be going live again when I return? Yes. I'll probably take like an hour break because I think I need to eat something too. I haven't really eaten much today. Check in with the wife. I'll see what she says. Actually, she's the boss, you know. I'll see if, no, I'm just kidding. But I'll see if she's okay. See how the kids are doing. If they need me, I may have to be done for the night. But yeah. See you when you get back. Notifications on, everyone. Yes, please. Thank you. It has some rare sunfish species that I've been trying to catch. I've caught one called a black bandit sunfish. That sounds cool. Sounds like something from like a Final Fantasy fishing mini game or something. But yeah. Oh, maybe I'll forge when I come back. If I come back, maybe I'll forge one of these little guys. It's just a little cloak pin or blanket pin. Show you guys how these work. These are really fun to make. I didn't make that one. I got that from Ren Fair a couple of years back. But yeah, I hear the Pine Barrens are cool. Like y'all got the Jersey Devil out that way. I hear. I like cryptids. Cryptids are cool. I think I'm gonna do a little bit closer to Halloween. I think I'm gonna do like a video about like some of the local folklore and like some of the spooky stuff I've experienced out in the woods, because you spend enough time in the woods, you experience some stuff that's weird. And I mean, you know, it's like my hunters in the chat and everything, people who go out there and hunt, you know, it's like I'm sure you've seen some stuff, especially if you spend the night. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a couple of videos about some of the scarier stories. None of them are like supernatural much or anything. You know, there's like some spooky stuff I've experienced that, you know, I can write it off, but like spooky, I can't, very spooky stuff. But like most of the scary things that happen in the woods is like, oh, is that a mountain lion? Oh, is that a black bear that's stalking me 5 miles walking back at 3 in the morning to get out of a place I shouldn't be camping in? That's a story I'll tell on here, but yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off unless anyone's got any other questions. Pine Barrens for a few years. People really like to go hunting for the Jersey Devil at night. Yeah, I bet I would too. I mean, that seems like a perfect like teen activity. It's like go out with a bunch of buddies, you know, maybe sneak out at night and then go out and hunt for the Jersey Devil. Really enjoy folklore. Me too. I'm a big folklore mythology junkie. I love all that stuff. But yeah, go out with a bunch of buddies, hunt for the Jersey Devil, you know. Yeah, I bet. That seems like a really fun time. We have a couple like local legends in like my town specifically. There's like the ghost train. There used to be an asylum in my town before I think it burned down and then moved. And there's this story about the ghost train because like I'm sure some of you who were around heard the train earlier. I'm pretty close to the tracks. They said that when there was an escape from the asylum. I mean, it was like back in the early 1900s or late 1800s, and a bunch of the asylum people, the patients, got out, and weird New Jersey brooks are fantastic. Lots of state folklore, really cool. I'm gonna check that out. Wonder if they have the one like that for Missouri. But yeah, they say there was a train. They searched for all the people on train. And the train crashed and people died they had all the people on there when they were collecting them. And now every once in a while at midnight on Halloween, if you're out on the train tracks, a train will come and it'll pick you up and carry you to hell. And like, you know, fun folklore like that. There's a really oldest house in this town. People say at midnight on Halloween, if you sit outside and watch a girl, you'll see the ghost of a girl leap out of the window at midnight and, fall to her death. But, I don't know how many people have done that and not seen anything, but the story persists. That's what's cool about it. It's like folklores and myths never really die. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say bye to everyone. I'm gonna end it here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna see about coming back. If I can't come back, I'll make a post about it. It's I don't know how many parents we got in the chat right now, or parents watching, but I've got almost a 2-year-old, and I've got less than a month old newborn baby boy inside, so it can get a lot. My daughter's a little rapscallion. She likes to get into everything right now. She's climbing on everything. She wants to get everything she's not supposed to have. We're quickly approaching the terrible twos, so that's just kind of how it is at this age. But yeah, check back in. Thanks everyone for watching. You guys all have a good night. If I don't see you, get out and maybe try some foraging. Stay safe.